Hey, community, here's what's brewing today.
Black History Month 2023.
Beyonce and Dubai.
Yes, Lord, and a mental health check-in. So get your cups ready for Minority Report. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Hey, welcome to Minority Report. That was a hella late clap.
That was
like a full 2 seconds late.
Girl, she was on Tomorrow Time.
Sure was. She done forgot all her people.
Listen, I was so busy laughing about what you just said before we hopped on. I totally just blanked out for a second.
Well, welcome to Minority Report. Right.
You know what? Hey, to be fair, it's her first episode of the year.
That is
so
true.
As she, she's been gone a few weeks. So
give a nigga some grace. Okay?
That's what I'm doing.
We will give you some grace. We'll give you some grace.
It.
It's Auntie Carell.
It's Auntie Jarrell.
And it's Auntie Late Landon.
Late Landon.
Honey, I was like, girl. But Auntie Dewan's over living her Parisian life again over in Paris. So it is what it is. She was like, She's like, that time difference, though. And I'm like, I don't blame you. Go have fun, girl.
I ain't gonna say nothing. That'll be me in a couple of months. So
that part.
Yes.
Everybody going to Paris. I'm like, damn. I want to get that going.
Niggas in Paris. That's the theme this year.
That is the theme. That's the Black History Month theme.
That's niggas in Paris.
That's the theme this year. I know that's right. Well, thank you, Landon, for filling in. Good to see you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Welcome, boo.
We ain't seen you on here since last year.
I
know it's been a minute. It's been a minute.
Right?
Yes.
All is well.
What's been new? Catch us up.
Catch the community up. Catch us up.
Oh, what is new? Not a damn thing, but this high-ass rent in New York. That's it. That's it. There ain't nothing new.
Hey, your mic sound crackly. Is it crackly on your end?
It sound crackly.
I don't know. You might need to plug it out, plug it in. While we get our sound system together, like the microphone said, it's my first week back too.
Look, everyone got the dust and the cobwebs off. The microphone, the AirPods.
I know that's right.
Look, make sure Audacity working at that point too.
Yep. Just coming in rusty on this episode. That's okay though.
Nah.
Well, while he's figuring that out,
y'all gonna get what you're gonna get.
That ain't it too. There we go.
Yeah, that don't sound like the microphone.
Towards the end. Oh Lord.
Well, while she figure it out,
how's your day going?
Look, let me tell you, I feel like Landon's microphone. If I'm gonna be honest, girl.
Oh really? Just going through it.
Going through this seasonal depression shit is real. I literally had to reach out to my doctor, my primary physician, and was like, "Yo, we're gonna have to up these antidepressants up because Mama is struggling real.
Yeah.
It's not like ain't shit changed. It's everything. The only thing that's changed is the lack of the sun.
Yeah,
literally.
Yeah. Is it like rainy or is it just like overcast every day?
It's just overcast all the time. The fucking time. I'm just over it. I'm over it. I mean, I already want to smack a hoe, but now I extra want to smack a hoe. I just
the double smack.
Look, that's why I don't drive anymore right now because I just don't have the patience for it. I just stay my ass in the house.
I don't blame you. Yeah, it's like a monsoon out there right now here in Philly. I'm kind of wishing it was a snowstorm. We hadn't got any snow this season. I was like, part of me is like happy this first like Philly winter that has gone well.
Girl, I was about to say, asking you
transition from Atlanta to Philly has gone well. But another part of me is just like, okay, we ain't got no snow. It's like if it's gonna rain this hard, let's get a little snow. Might as well get it once a season and be done with it.
Girl, look, the Lord shows up on time. Keep on asking.
Right. He's like, keep talking.
Right.
Play if you want to.
I'll do that part.
But yeah, no, like I'm just tired. It's been a long week. We had quarterly business reviews at work. So yesterday we were in meetings from 8 to like 5. Then we did like it was like their awards dinner. So like we were at dinner from like 6 to like 9. Then literally the second part of the quarterly business reviews were today from 8 to 5:15. Then when you in meetings all day, you can't get your regular shit done. So literally came home and there's some urgent stuff that they needed still. So literally worked up until the time it was time for the podcast. So it's just been a long time. Then tomorrow, like my company, we have like just meetings from 9 to 1. So I'm just like, this week is just a lot. It's a lot. It's too much.
People really hit the ground running this year. Honestly, I feel like every company.
No, they didn't. No, they didn't.
Girl,
No,
yes, they did.
These white folks are still crazy. They still crazy. I had to tell someone. Listen, I had to tell someone the other day, I should not have to put a fucking battery pack in your back for you to do your fucking job. Do I need to call your boss?
She back and still crackly, but that's okay.
Look, I don't know which companies you referring to, but bitch, all these tech companies out here, all the ones, bitch, they said 2023. What?
We're laying a lot of bitches off. It's crazy.
One company did 18,000, another company did 10,000, another company did 12,000. Like, it's hard out here. They said, Happy New Year. You don't got a job.
Bye.
You don't got a job. You don't got a job.
So, Lord, thank you for my job. I'm going to complain about how long I've been meetings, but Lord, thank you for my job.
Okay. I said, let me go ahead and get up.
A whole ass word. Like I ain't pushing snooze today.
Let me tell you, I'm gonna turn my camera on. Hey y'all, how y'all doing? Turn my camera on today. Make sure y'all still see me.
I know that's right. Mm-hmm. I know that is right. Because a bitch got some bills to pay. Look. And a couple vacays in queue. So.
Okay. Look.
A couple.
Honey. Trying, but anyway, so community, his microphone is still a little crackly, so just bear with us this episode. It is what it is. How you been, Landon? How's 2023 starting off? Besides the battery pack and telling bitches you need to do your job.
Wait, really quick, should I just use my AirPods? Do you think I should just do that? Fuck it. Like at this point, I give 0 fucks. It is what it is.
What it is. Sorry, community.
It is what it is. Fuck it. And it's the same microphone. It's the one that you told me to get. I haven't used it since. I don't know what's going on with it.
It's a little rusty. Yeah, I don't know what's going on either. It's weird. If it gets too crazy, then maybe we switch to AirPods. I'll let you know.
Yeah. 2023. It was a rough start, y'all. I had a little bit of, we talk about mental health.
Go to the AirPods.
She couldn't handle it.
I couldn't handle it. I knew I probably wasn't going to be able to. I tried to go through it, y'all.
I was fine. I was just like, all right, here we going. But normally it's me, so I don't care.
I was trying to go through it, but sorry, community. It's just a random episode.
Damn. All right, how about now?
Yeah, you okay? Say it again.
That's right.
How about now?
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
There we go.
Better?
Yes.
Okay.
It's gonna do.
It's gonna have to because my patience is at 0. I ain't got it.
I hear you.
No, beginning of the year was a little rough, a little tough. I made last year I decided to depart working in aviation. And prior to that, lost a friend and made a return back to Phoenix that I didn't anticipate. It had been a really long time since I moved or since I had been to Phoenix. So that compounded with that. And then something that I really wanted, something that was really important to me, fell through. And so I was kind of going through this motions of like, what the fuck is going on in my life? Why is everybody, why is the year starting like this? And reevaluating like why did I have to start 2023 on such like a bad note? Like you want to start a new year with new mojo, new juju, new energy, all of that stuff. And I found myself just really allowing the devil to play with my emotions. And finally just talked to a coworker who is a very good friend of mine, and she said it best. She's like, you know what? Right now, what you are experiencing is the devil playing with your emotions and taking you away from God. And we had this really awesome discussion about that. And I was like, you know what? I'm way too blessed to be allowing this devil to really be fucking with me like this. So I really had to like make some serious moves in my mind to get out of this kind of funk I was in. At first I was like, do I need to start seeing a therapist? Like what the fuck do I need to do? Because this is just not me. Yeah. And ultimately what I decided to do was I used my employee assistance program and found a new therapist, someone that can that is nearby, that is close, and immediately just talking about it, I felt better. Just immediately. And it's not like I'm not insightful and can't solve my own problems, but sometimes you just got to get it out, and that can be hard in and of itself. So rough start to 2023, but over the past like week or two, as I've kind of settled into some new normals, I'm good. I'm feeling a lot better. Working out. I have a new trainer, so kind of getting back into that mode of like filling my own cup and taking care of my own mental and physical health was really kind of the thing that, plus, you know, starting to see a therapist was really the thing that started to get me back to where I wanted to be emotionally. So it was a little rough start, but
a bitch is getting back. She bouncing back.
The bitch is getting back.
We gonna see bouncing back.
Yeah.
She got a date on Thursday. She got a date on Friday, and she got a date on Saturday.
Oh,
so
she back because she's like, let me get this ass and tail right now.
Yeah.
Well,
bitch is back in the
do
game.
it. Okay now.
So,
I love that though, because we're a big proponent of therapy on this podcast.
100%.
So to do what you need to do and to talk it out and not to take it all on yourself. Right. I love that. So kudos to that.
Other than that, I'm good. I'm good, you know, making money moves, living in New York, loving it. You know, I'm good.
Okay.
Good.
Hey, you're gonna hate me for a second. It's still crackly, so you might as well get the good mic back in, girl. So we'll give you another 2 seconds. I don't know what it is. It might be your AirPods fucking shit up, but that's okay. At least we'll get the good mic, and it's just not the microphone. At least we know it's maybe the AirPods.
I'm logging off. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Right. It's like, Terrell, you're fucking up my zhuzh.
Fuck it.
She'll be fine after them dates.
That part.
Yeah.
I know that's right. But no, that's good. No, like, you know, I'm trying to think. Has 2020? You know, 2023 has actually been a decent start to the year for me. It's just been kind of maybe status quo, just kind of going through. But hey, hang in there, because a lot of people are going through mental health stuff. So again, do the work that you need to do and get the help that you need to get help with. Here for it.
Girl, I asked for 2022 back. That's how my 2023 went. I was like, oh no.
Damn.
I said she can come back.
Ooh, it's like, hold on.
Look,
it's like, run that right back.
Look, or I'm ready to be like, Happy New Year again. Okay. Like,
damn.
Girl. I'm at this point where like things have I'm at this point in my life where I'm starting to think about just like even my future, you know.
Yeah.
I'm at this point where I'm like, all right, I'm 35. It's going to be probably another 35 years until I retire. And I'm starting to think about like, how sustainable is what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to be able to make it another 35 years working?
That's
you know? And so like Fizz and I have been having some conversations about honestly starting to open like our own business. Yeah, you know, like we have dreams of like having a family and stuff like that. And we know that the way that we want to have our family is also going to mean that we're going to have a certain level of availability as well, too. Yeah. And so owning your own business is going to help with that as well, too. So there's just a lot of things that I've been thinking of, you know, in the last, you know, few weeks where I'm like, I should probably start making these changes now. So I'm not in my 50s trying to, you know, starter, right? Like, even though they say, 50s is the new 30s, because let me tell you guys, some of these people are looking good in their 50s.
Good.
Girl, I was just watching, what was I watching? I was watching this show called The Undoing with Nicole Kidman. It's a couple years old.
Okay.
But she was in her 50s in the show and she looks phenomenal. And I'm like,
well, she done had a little
surgery.
Yeah. True. But even then, even I was watching The View and, I've been seeing so many people in their 50s and I'm like,
this ain't your grandmama's 50s.
Girl, it really ain't. Girl.
It ain't your grandmama's 50s at all.
Girl, it really ain't. Like, literally, I see some of these people in their 50s. I'm like, what do I'm like, okay, not, ooh. Were you trying to shade me, bitch?
No. If anything,
she said, I went, oh.
Listen, if anything, it's some of these other people out here. That's who I was shading. Because.
Yeah. No,
you'd be like, damn.
Yeah. But some of them I'm just like, I can only hope. Like, I see people now, like, anyways, so that's it.
Damn, leave it there. Just leave it
because there. I was going to say, I see people in their 40s and I'm like, oh, that's not too far away from me. Like, I'm going to be all right. And I just really, and that was no shade to you, sis, because I know you just turned. So that's why I was just like, I'm trying to figure out how to bounce back for this. How I'm going to recover. It's just, I remember when I was in my 20s and I had a certain image of what 40 looked like.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
And now that I'm like in my mid 30s and I'm closer to 40, it doesn't seem that far off, but also like the vision of how I see people in my 40s now, I'm like, bitch, you look just like me. Like, so I don't feel like there's a huge drastic change. Like I just kind of assumed it was like when I was in my 20s.
It makes you realize your parents and your aunties and uncles, your family went through the same thing. I'm sure even now, like my parents in their 60s are thinking, this is not what I thought 60 would look like, feel like, and things like that. So I'm sure they internalize it. So like, dang, I still feel like I'm 23, but then my driver's license telling me I was born in this year.
Girl, let me tell you, I love my family, but I'm also fighting like genetics. Okay. Like we're great. We're in our prime in our 20s and 30s, and then 40 comes around and
damn.
Like that's when that's when a lot of the health scares start to happen in our family. That's when you got to start having certain screenings, and that's when like just shit starts happening. In our 40s, and so like in my mind, I'm like, I'm trying to do as much as I can now at 35 to make sure I have that longevity to see my 70s and my 80s. You know what I'm saying?
Real statement.
Real statement. Because first of all, Laura knows I don't eat the best.
I was thinking that on the train today. I was like, because it goes back to like me not realizing my age and realizing, maybe I should eat a little better. Maybe I should, because I'm thinking I'm 19. Maybe I should be eating them 4 cookies at the quarterly business review yesterday.
Not the 4 cookies.
They was delicious though. They was delicious. I had 2 oatmeal and 2 chocolate chip cookies. They were delicious. It is what it is. But then I was thinking, I was like, oh, okay, Carell, like you pushing 40, ho. Like,
look, I got this.
Maybe 2 cookies, Carell.
I got this salad. I got this salad sitting in the fridge at work. It's been sitting there since Monday.
Oh, you might need to throw that out now.
I'm have to. But here's the thing. Every day. Ain't no dressing on it though. So I have my dressing on the side.
Okay.
So it might be okay.
Yeah.
But every day, like they've catered lunch to work every day.
I'll be at my job too.
And I'd be like, and I just be like, well, I mean, it's free.
It's here.
Right? Like,
exactly. That's how it be in mine. Seriously.
Girl, get you a plate and eat it up. Because free is free.
I do.
2.
Free is free.
Period.
2 plates. Okay, that's
home.
A rapper name.
And
that's my rapper name. That's my rapper name right there. 2 plates.
2 plates.
Do what you gotta do.
show?
2 plates, but I got me a few more.
Hey.
I know that's right. But no, that's a real statement, though. It's like, especially in the Black community, we just know genetically and culturally, we've been set up to maybe not have the best health record, you know? And for us to live longer and be healthier longer, we got to start looking out for ourselves a little younger to build those habits. So it's a habitual nature as we get older. So
question for you.
Make some greens and some cornbread now. I don't know, because Fed's been asking for some greens. He'd be like, "How come you always wait to Thanksgiving to make greens?" Something
it don't need to be Thanksgiving.
Right.
Well, it's Black History Month, so you might as well start home.
That's
start
exactly
the
right.
month out right.
Look.
Question for you two. I'm curious, what are some maybe bad habits that you kind of had to break from what you've seen maybe in your family? For example, like my parents, my family, they get sick or there's something serious going on. They don't tell nobody until shit pops off and y'all laid up in the hospital on oxygen. So, like, I'm curious. That's a whole different story. I'm curious as to what are some habits that you have had, some histories that you've kind of had to break from when it comes to your family. Like, Jarrell, you just talked about, at some point you have to start taking care of your health and being a little bit more aware of it as you approach 40 because of genetics. Like, what are some habits that you all have had to kind of like break from what you've seen happening in your family?
I mean, right off the back, it's mental health, like you were talking about earlier. Like off the back, that's like the number one thing that I've had to really break away from, but also be very vocal in my family about too, just because there's still such a stigma in the Black community when it comes to mental health, especially, being a Black man and, having to be strong and not show emotions and stuff like that as well too. And even just for even Black women, just having to persevere and having to pick up slack and do all these things and be the breadwinner, and then take care of the home and all this stuff. And we don't allow ourselves to have those space to talk about how that's just making us feel in general. And being the oldest sibling, being the oldest in my generation of my family, there's also like a responsibility that in my family I have as the first in my generation, and my whole entire generation being the first. I have to set an example. And that's literally what my great grandma told me before she died. I was literally 6 years old, and I remember her having this conversation with me. Just about making sure that I set an example, because my aunt on my dad's side is the first in her generation. So we just happens to be the first on the generation is literally on my part of the dad's of my family. And so I take that with huge responsibility. And I've just been vocal and letting my, the older generation know this is where I am. And because they see me and they're like, "Oh, Jarrell, you out here traveling, you out here living in Seattle, you out here living your best life. I see you out here taking pool pictures. I see you out here on rooftops. I see you doing all these things." And I'd be like, yes, I also am doing those things, but I'm also going through these things as well too, to really just kind of help remind people that we need to, be real with ourselves and where we're going to help normalize, so that when someone else is going through that, they're not feeling like they're the only ones. Because that's one thing I've learned when talking with other people with mental health issues as well too, is that like it's not until we realize that someone else is going through that we kind of like, oh, okay, this is cool. But until not cool, but oh, I'm not going through this alone. But when you're talking with other people who aren't going through, you feel like no one else understands, and that's when it really gets hard. So there is strength in just knowing that there are other people who are going through it as well too. So that has been by far the number one. And then I would say this close second is, focus on things like your blood pressure, like those internal things that we don't think about that runs very high in Black people as well too. And paying attention and monitoring that, because that's a silent killer. And so many of my folks go through it as well. That's what I meant by genetics. I'm on 35. I'm already on blood pressure medication at 35.
Yeah. For me, that's a good question. Honestly, I'm going to have to think even more, even outside the moment right now, because nothing's really urgently popping in my mind. I just know maybe the closest thing that's maybe popped up is just like asking the questions, because like my parents were from the generation where, especially in the Deep South, you just didn't ask the questions because and a lot of it was because of survival. Honestly, they grew up in segregation and things like that. So a lot of times you didn't ask the questions because if you got too nosy, it was going to set yourself up to be in some situations that you didn't need to be in. And so, like, even this holiday, like, just like literally, I was talking to my dad, and some of the questions he just didn't know the answers to. So I was like, let's call like my aunt, like she might know, and just trying to piece together just like the family history and legacy and things like that, because all of my grandparents are gone now at this point. So a lot of that kind of passed with them, and so. For me, again, like I'm the oldest in my immediate family. I'm the oldest cousin on both sides. So similar to Jarrell, they kind of all look at me as the one to kind of find this information and things like that. And I take that seriously too. It's just like, okay, if nobody answered these damn questions, then let me ask these damn questions so that it's just not forgotten. It's just like I don't know. That shit just matters to me. It's important to me at least. And then that's maybe for health. It's just making sure you stay up on your doctor's appointments and things like that. But like my dad was always good. He's like, if I'm paying for this insurance, I'm going to the doctor. Like if they taking this out my paycheck, I'm going to the doctor. So that's one thing he's actually been very good about. So there's a lot of things that like I think even like my dad and his generation and like his siblings did a great job of kind of breaking some of this stuff from his parents that they saw and that even I saw when some of my grandparents started dying, just like, or even like his grandparents when they started dying, like just fighting over land and assets and things like it tore the family apart at that generation. So like my dad's part of the family vowed to not let it happen to them. And then like it's kind of trickled down to like at least me and like my cousins and my brother and sister, just making sure that we have these conversations, that the will is out there and that what the will is saying and things like that. That way we just don't fight. Like it's just like it's not worth it to me. Like to lose your family over bullshit like that. Yes, you could be like disappointed and things like that, but like to make a tear a family apart, no. So like it's kind of emulating some of that growth that I saw from my dad's generation, and even taking it a little further. So especially in this Black History Month, like I guess we'll talk about Black History. It's Black History Month, y'all. And I'm proud to be Black. I know these. And I just know a lot of times we try to think of this grandiosity moment for the month, but anymore it's just like it's Black History all day, every day, 365. But since we do have the month set apart, you might as well celebrate it. And I know Lana, you kind of looked up what the theme was this year. What's the theme this year?
Yeah, so I went to history.com. Love me some History Channel, by the way. And love me some History Channel. Don't get me started. And so the Black History Month theme for 2023 is Black Resistance. And it basically is exploring how African Americans have resisted historic and ongoing oppression in all its forms, especially racial terrorism of lynching and police killings since the nation's earliest days. And while we know what lynching is, we know our history, to put it in such vivid terms, if you will, racial terrorism, that is a whole fucking bar. Like that's a line right there for me. And so this year, I think it's really important, especially as and I know we're going to talk about it later, there's people out there trying to whitewash history as if like Black history and Black oppression and all of those things, I know we're going to talk about it later, have not happened. So it's even more important that we talk about history, because the saying, and yes, I'm gonna pull out my Iyanla card. If you don't, those that don't learn the history, the mistakes of the past are doomed to repeat it in the future. So it's really super important that we teach our kids of all colors, of all backgrounds and demographics, the history of this country and how we can continue to fight against a lot of the things that happened in the past. So I'm ready for some Black history. I hope y'all ready for some Black history.
I am too.
Absolutely.
I am too.
And I like how on this site too it says Black faith institutions were spaces where Black communities met to organize resistant efforts, and then just like really talking about those like how to really preserve some of that, even if it's not okay. We know maybe some folks aren't going to church as much as they used to or don't want to go to church. But I think what the church kind of did was create a sense of community. And so whatever that sense of community is now in your gathering spaces, preserving that history and preserving the moment currently in the present, making sure that you're involved in your communities, knowing that making sure you're involved with your neighbor, whatever it may be, just showing up for your Black community, honestly. And we kind of touched on it in last week's episode, just even like the interracial dating stuff. But again, it could be an and situation, even if you're in an interracial relationship. And I'm Black hoe. So like whoever I'm with and who's over in my circle better know we celebrating the Blackness, and it is what it is kind of thing. And making sure that you're uplifting your communities that you're involved with and in your friend group and things like that. So these two dudes here, Auntie Dewan, and then even outside of like who's on this podcast week in, week out, I love the Blackness in our circles and the minority in our circles, because it fulfills something in me seeing other Black people succeed. So as you go through this month, whatever you're involved with, make sure you uplifting your Blackness, the Blackness in your community, the Blackness in their community, wherever. Yeah. And be proud of it. Be proud of it. Walk with your head high this month. I mean, walk with your head high every day, but extra high every this month. Can't tell you shit this month because we Black home. We in this bitch.
It's like they say, what was that line in here, the movie Hairspray? When she was like, I wish every day could be Negro Day. And she was like, it's Negro. Every day is Negro Day in my house.
It's so true. And just like, even like you kind of touched on, Landon, like literally there are governors and people in power trying to diminish and eliminate our history and our success and our excellence. Don't let it happen. Fight back. And I'm glad a lot of people are fighting back. There's councils, there's literally, I forget the name of the council that literally on February 1st are either suing DeSantis or re-putting in these same advanced courses that he tried to take out purposely, and they're just gonna fight. It is what it is. And so I love seeing that. I love seeing this new generation saying, no, okay, we about to sue your ass then. Like, this is not right. You ain't shutting us up, and you're not going to eliminate our history. So it's moments like that where it shows you that it's still in 2023 very racist in this country, and we got to do our fighting, and we got to put action to our words as well. We can't just be like, oh, I don't want him to do it. You need to do something then. If you don't feel that way, if you want to see your kids learning this history and things like that, fight back. And that's what we need to continue to do and focus in on this 2023 Black History Month.
Yeah, which is also crazy too, because there are AP classes in Florida as well that are about, other marginalized communities, people of color communities as well too. So like there are those AP classes that teach about, Asian American heritage and about the indigenous people and about other, marginalized groups too. So damn girl, did she not pay her bills?
Girl, the power went out in the entire building. The fire alarm
Landon just going through it this episode. Damn.
She wasn't lying. She was not playing, y'all.
Well, girl, I mean, if you need to go handle your shit, go handle your shit. Jarrell and I can handle the rest of the episode.
There's nothing that I can do. The entire building. I'm looking out in the hallway. The light is off.
Damn. Girl. But your internet's working though still, so that's good.
Yeah, that's weird. How's your internet working?
So my internet, so in my apartment complex, the internet is cable and internet are included. So it's not like it's on a whole different electrical system. It's gotta be. It's gotta be because
they trying to diminish Landon's Black excellence and Black History Month. Don't let them do it, bitch. Don't let them do it.
Not doing it. But listen, my phone is fully charged. Okay. I got me some internet. I'm still gonna be a part of this conversation whether you like it or not. So,
girl, we just looking out for you, girl. You weren't lying when you said the devil was attacking you, girl. We see it in real time.
We see it live and in action.
100%. 100%. Not letting
on this episode 208.
Look,
the devil is
And
I
alive.
hope that shit. I hope that shit don't jump
damn well.
screens, bitch, like they do in the
No, not
movies,
today.
bitch. Look,
Mm,
I
that
love
in
you,
the name
bitch.
of
You keep
Jesus.
that shit, girl.
Where my
Ooh,
tambourine?
girl, look. Come on, pull
I
on
got that
Child, they
tambourine on the devil
Look,
right here.
I
Shake the
keep
devil
me a
off.
cross with me at all times. Okay, look, he is always
Period.
with me. Okay, look,
If
don't
you
have me
scared,
pull
call
out
that reverend.
my Bible verse, girl.
I know that's right. The
honey,
words that live in my heart.
the
So I
entire
don't sin
building,
against thee.
the entire building is out. The fire lights on, like, when there's like
Yeah.
like the power goes out or something like happens like in a
The
like a
emergency
fire.
lights.
Hallway, like,
The emergency lights, yeah. The fire doors are closed. Shout. After this podcast,
Girl.
I'm taking my black ass to bed. That's some black history for your
I know
ass
that's
right
right.
there.
That is some black shit. It's like, just go to bed then.
Yeah, look, I can say less than.
But really quick, something I
Yeah.
wanted to say is with Black History Month, as I'm in a blackout right now. With Black History Month, I'm going to challenge everybody to learn something new, something that you didn't know before. Go out and research someone that you've never heard before, you've never taken the time to learn about. Take 5 minutes throughout the next couple of days and weeks and learn about someone new. We know about Langston Hughes, we know about Harriet Tubman, we know about a lot of these names that just we know by heart, and some people just know through the history books. But there's plenty of amazing Black men and women who have made significant. Oh, hey!
The ancestors said, "Let there be light."
Look, she said she lifting us up. We gonna give her light. Look, we gonna.
Hey,
Harriet Tubman took us from the darkness to the light. Come on, Harriet.
Wow, that was some shit right there. But just take time to learn, a new Black history fact, a new someone that you just didn't know before. So would love to hear about, through the comments or through DMs about someone that you learned about that you'd like to share with us.
And here's the thing, like, you have no excuse not to find content. There's so much content on social media. There's so much content on Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, Peacock, Paramount. There's so much content out there. So it's not hard to go out of your way, but if you find it hard, we will send you stuff, if you need to be. Go see that 1619 project. Go see what's the one about the prison system? I can't think of that Ava did off the top of my head right now. Go watch that. I think that's on Netflix. Go watch. There's so much content to educate yourself that there's no excuse to be that.
If you find it hard, the truth is, if you find it hard to find content, you are part of the problem.
Ooh, that's a word. That's a whole word.
It is literally impossible. It is impossible. There is no excuse why you can't literally just turn something on. Hell, all the fucking companies are changing our marketing towards everything being Black now. Like you can't miss.
Right.
Because if you shop at Target, there is a whole Black History Month
section,
which is fire.
But it is kind of fire. But you know what? Even buy Black locally. But share your auntie. Share Minority Report with some people.
Yes,
that's supporting Black. Support Black businesses. Support Black content. Support Black creators. Support Black businesses. Target, like you said, does a great job year in, year out. That's fire. Like you said, if you find it hard, you part of the problem, because it ain't that hard. It's the easiest it's ever been. So,
and I still have a bunch of Minority Report keychains to pass out and stuff. I'm gonna send y'all some. But listeners, if you are interested in one, I can send stuff. I can send stuff for free. So I will be happy to ship out some. If you're looking to support, if you want a Minority Report keychain for free, all right, I will ship it to you.
And know, I do know there's one person that I do want to shout out, because avid follower and is an author. I want to shout out Frederick Smith, because he be listening every week and he be tweeting and everything. Frederick Smith. And he's from Detroit, low key. So stand up Detroit.
Okay, now
Michigan. And he lives in the Bay Area.
Hey.
But he also has a book, and I'm trying to find the book real quick, because that's how you support. And maybe what we try to do each week is find someone that we just know in our community and network of people, just to share a little bit of their stuff. And the book is called Busy Ain't the Half of It. Bold Strokes Books. So Busy Ain't the Half of It. And what I'll do is I'll try to even put this in our bio, so you could go and find a way to support him, because I know a lot of times with Amazon, I'm sorry, Jarrell, but Amazon be taking a lot of the cut.
I am on, excuse me, I work for Amazon Web Services.
There we go.
I'm on the other company. Thank you. I'm okay.
But and I'll put this out there in our things. But I mean, he has several books. He has In Case You Forgot, Play It Forward, is another one of his. So Frederick Smith, and I'll even spell the name, Frederick Smith. Go support him. Just another Black person in our community that's putting in that work to be successful. So shout him out. And so I've been wanting to do that, and I'm glad it just popped in my head in that moment.
Yeah.
But okay, we got a couple more things on the list, but we're going to quickly take a tea break and then do Ask Your Aunties.
Okay.
We interrupt this episode for very important information.
That's right. You've been asking for it for a long time, and we have heard you.
Yep, it's been a long time coming, but it's finally here.
Yo,
aunties
got merch. Hey, that's right. You know what? We got tees, we got long tees, we got sweatshirts, we got fanny packs, there's just a whole gamut of stuff out there. So go and check that out.
We are so appreciative of your love and support, and we are so excited to launch it. Girl, where can we find it at?
Ma'am, they can head right over to minorityReport.com to check out the selection.
That's right. That's MINORITEA report.com.
Woo! I'm about to go get me some myself. Oh, you on your hotspot?
How about now? Yes.
You sound good.
Yay,
you sound
nay.
good.
Yeah.
Now, does he look a little? Does the video?
I would rather have the audio than. Yeah.
Okay, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's a trade-off. Yeah,
it is. All right, here we go, ladies. What time is it?
As your
auntie.
Community, it's just a rough episode. It's just gonna be a rough episode.
First, Carell, me and you were good, and I was like, "All right, let me slow it down to catch up with Auntie Landon." And then you were gone, and she just sat there. She just said,
"I just said,
go bitches." the way you lean back.
It's just gonna be one of them episodes, community. It's some technical difficulties. It is what it is. But let's see here. Let's ask your aunties. And there's, I forget if we got permission to say the name, so I'm not going to say the name. But it says, I have got a question. As Black men in interracial relationships, how does your partner help you feel supported? My partner is Black, and I find myself looking for ways to incorporate more Blackness into our household. I'm white as hell, so that only goes so far. And I'm not about that appropriation life. Thank you. I also find myself at a loss for words when we see more Black men experience brutality in the news. I want to support him and celebrate him authentically without it being like, you're only doing this because I'm Black. LOL. So are there things your partners do for you or you, hold on, let me re-say this again. Are there things your partners do or you would like them to do to help you feel embraced without it being forced? Have you had conversations like this with them or other people in your circle that aren't Black? Our kids will be mixed, obviously, so this is a topic that crosses my mind regularly. Love y'all, and thank you for always being bright lights in every space you enter. Oh, thank you. So really, honestly, the gist of the question is just, God, I can't even talk now. The gist of the question is, how do we want to be supported, honestly, by our non-Black partners, and for those that are in interracial relationships, how can they support their significant others without it coming across as unauthentic?
I'm really trying hard to want to answer this question just because of the conversation we had last week. I even said last week I was tired of having the interracial conversation because for me, it is, yes, that's part of what we bring to the table, but that's not also just what I am, is a Black person in an interracial relationship. Right. So, but the thing that I respect from a question like this is a person who is, non-Black or an ally that is truly trying to make an effort to show up authentically without it being forced in a way that actually matters. So I'm going to make the time. Okay. Also, I know this person. I love her to death. So I guess one of the things that I would say is it sounds like you're pretty much on a great path when you mention not wanting to appropriate. That's the first thing you got to make sure that you don't do. The second thing I would say is you're going to have to learn how to be comfortable in the passenger seat. There are going to be some things where you just don't get to be in control of, or there's some things that you are not going to be able to fix, change, make feel better. And you're going to feel like your hands are tied and there's nothing you can do. But the key is to not give into that feeling. And the key is to continue to make space for the person that's actually going through it, to not turn a situation that may make you feel helpless as a supportive partner, feel like you can't do something, and make sure that the space is about what your partner's going through. So simply just asking questions and just doing check-ins and letting them lead the conversations and not being someone who's like, oh, well, this happened to the Black community, or another Black man was like, how are you feeling today? Like, just simply ask, are you doing okay? I saw what's going on in the news. I just want to check in with you. And you can leave it at that. You don't have to talk about it every single conversation. It don't have to be like, oh my God, so now I'm following the trial and this is happening. And did you see this news, station say this and this? You don't let them lead. Let them lead into those conversations. Because that's going to be something that I personally feel has just been helpful for my own partner. Is just, if I have something to say, I know that I have somewhere to go to let it out, know? And sometimes as Black folks, we're just fucking tired. So sometimes we're thinking about it, but we don't even want to talk about it.
That shit is traumatic. That shit is traumatic.
Right. Yeah, 100%, and it's just like, oh, history. So this has this not happened already before?
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you, so we're also not surprised. So sometimes we just water off a duck's back, but we still also like the option to at least talk about it, to process it. If it is something that's truly triggering, like truly, affecting us in a way where we can't get through it. But that's something, but it's also really sad that we become a people who are almost not coming numb, but like it's becoming something that I can process easier because of how often it happens. So that's, sad. But another thing too that I would say, and this would be my final thing too, just outside of it not coming to, another, racial killing, of an unarmed Black man or woman or whatever the case is. Just keep it in your everyday, like how every day we're Black. Well, every day there should, or at least once a month or once a week or something. As an ally, you should, you're proactive, doing something. So you're not waiting until something bad happens to be an ally. You should be an ally being reactive all the time. Yeah. So like Carell mentioned about supporting Black people, supporting, local, Black businesses. One of the things that I love to do around here, especially in Seattle, because it's a very crafty, hippie, free-going place. Everybody's selling something. Okay. The number one thing I love to do, I love buying seasonings. I be buying every Black person season. I'll be like, oh, what you got?
Let me go and get that.
Okay. I got like 4 different like mild seasonings in my cabinets for like 4 different Black owners. And every single one of them are different.
Yeah. But and they're all delicious, probably too.
Look, bitch, okay. I got crystals, bitch. I got candles. I bought rings and all sorts of shit. I love supporting, Black people who are really trying to make something of themselves. So that would be another thing that I would say to do, especially because you can, those are things that you can bring into your home and make your space where you're both cohabitating feel like it's a space for both.
What are you thinking, Landon?
My ex-partner, and I can say his name on here because I know that he's listened, so he'll be all right. When Dylan and I were together, I was young, so I knew we were an interracial couple, but I never understood the nuances of that. So when things used to happen, I was very unprepared. I was unprepared about how to talk about my feelings because I thought, automatically assuming he would not understand. So one, and even while we were together, I had to, in my mind, make the decision that I'm going to give him the option. I'm going to give him the opportunity to try to understand. And on the flip side of that, he was a great listener, is a great listener, and never sought to like minimize some of my feelings about what I would experience at work, or experience at school, et cetera, et cetera. So I think listening and coming from a place of wanting to understand versus be understood. So if I'm telling my partner something that happened or how I'm feeling about a certain situation, don't go in return tell me what you think about it, how you're feeling about it, unless I ask you. Because at the end of the day, I'm feeling a sort of trauma, a sort of feeling that maybe you're never going to be able to, you're never going to feel that, you're never going to understand what it feels like. Not to say that you won't be affected by it, but you're never going to understand how it feels. So understand versus be understood. And when it comes down to instances like this, being proactive first, just like Jarrell said earlier, being proactive instead of reactive. So we see something happen in the news and then we got to have a sit down conversation about how I'm feeling and how I'm processing. No, it should not be just that. It should be proactive. It should be a proactive conversation of understanding versus being understood. And then obviously asking questions and just listening. And sometimes that listening is just listening and being like, okay, I'm going to take what you said and think about this and process that. You don't have to come up with an instant, oh, I understand. Sometimes that understanding needs to marinate and it needs to take time. And with time will come more understanding. So I think it's just really important to listen, to empathize. Once again, empathy is a choice. So you may not necessarily know what it feels like to be stopped by a cop because you're Black, but you know what? You can also understand, because you love me and you care about me, you can understand why that would bother me and why that hurts and where that comes from. So I think it's just a matter of listening, of empathy, and just being supportive. And don't think that support has to be about immediate action. In my opinion, if just for me personally, if you're listening, you're trying to understand, and maybe you come back to me a few days later and you be like, yo, Lan, I haven't been able to I've been thinking about this for the past few days. Sometimes you're not able to just soak it in right away. So make the attempt or make the good faith effort to understand and learn from other people's experience.
Yeah. Like that's where my mind kind of goes. It's just like, you don't have to have the answer, and you probably won't, or we wouldn't be still in this vicious cycle. So acting like you be like, I know it all. Yes, I know. That ain't gonna help shit. It ain't gonna help shit. It's looking like now you would know it all. Then if you would know it all, then why haven't you solved this for us then? So that's where my mind kind of goes. So it's just like, again, just listening. And sometimes we just got to vent. Sometimes we just got to cry. Sometimes we're going to be pissed off. Sometimes we might laugh. Sometimes it's just going to be these wide range of emotions that you might not be able to fully understand why we're coming across that way. Because some things are triggering. Some things you just got to laugh it off. Some things you just got to cry. Some things you're pissed off. Whatever it may be. So being emotionally mature in that regard is saying, I just gotta let them be for a moment, because I don't fully understand where this emotion is coming from, because another thing happened in the news today, another thing happened at work today, another person said this. So just kind of being emotionally aware that that's going to be just part of our lives. And then just showing up, like I like Jarrell, like you said, like just have stuff around the house. You know what your partner likes, so buy black. You don't even have to say it, but it's just like supporting those communities, and then the representation is just naturally in the home. What do you like? You like soaps? Okay, then buy black, buy brown, buy whatever. You like little barrettes, you like a little clothing, whatever it may be, whatever you normally do. There's ways to buy black. There's ways to support people that you just enjoy their work and things like that. And that's how it kind of just naturally shows up in your day-to-day life in your own home. But yeah, like I like Lena saying, just be proactive with your questions. If you do have questions, be proactive in your allyship. Like there's going to be many rooms that you are in that we are not, that you're going to have to stick up for us and our community. And doing so, and we might not ever know it, but you know it. You know what Becky with the good hair said the other day. And you in a relationship with a person that's black, you in a relationship with a person that's brown, you're going to have to be in some uncomfortable situations the way we are too. And
every day
it's going to affect you, but at the end of the day, it's going to probably still affect us a little more than you. And being able to be okay with that, honestly. But then you don't gotta at the end of the day, we can tell when it's phony and fake. So you ain't gotta be like, oh, fight the power that be all day, every day. Like that's just corny.
Yeah.
At least for me, it's corny.
It's corny.
Like, we can sense what your allyship and what you're good at to help us. So it doesn't have to be this grandiose moment all the time. Maybe sometimes it has to be, but most times it doesn't have to be. It's just a nuance day in, day out. But most important, just listen. Sometimes we just got to get it off our hearts and minds, and we don't need a response back. It's just a simple, I got you, boo, or let me lay my head on your shoulders, something like that. It's the nuance and the smaller moments and the grandiosity moments is what you'll kind of find. But yeah, and then even for, I guess you said our kids would be mixed, obviously. Representation in the household matters. Representation outside the household matters. So if you're buying a white doll, buy a black doll. If you're buying an American doll that's black, buy an American doll that's white. And that's just something I've even had to learn with like my nieces and nephew that are biracial as well. Just like having the representation of the black side, but then also me understanding that they are also white. And so knowing that there's a representation on that side for them as well, that I even had to learn. But just being open to the conversations, being proactive with your allyship and listening really is what the advice I could give you.
Really quick, having a biracial child, there was a bit, I can't remember how old he was. He definitely a teenager. He struggled with identity, and I could never really understand. And again, I was struggling to understand, dude, you're black, but that is not right.
That's like not the full picture for him. Yeah.
Right. Exactly. And it took a lot of not arguments, but some heated conversations. And that was a lesson for me in, once again, empathy and trying to understand where he struggled, because people didn't see him as black, but I know you're black, and he knows that elements of him are black. So when things are happening in the news, he feels a certain way, but he's got white friends that don't understand because they don't have black friends because they don't see him as that. Yeah, and so that was really tough. And I think that actually started, it was 2012 or 2014. It was everything that happened with Michael Brown. And that was when things started, like we started to have these conversations, and he asked me point blank, what box do I check? And that hit hard. That hit hard for me, because I'm like, number one, you shouldn't be checking any box. Okay. I fill out your form. So let's just put that out there. Number two, figuratively speaking, you can't fit in. This is not about a box, but that's the way that he saw it. So I had to it was a struggle for me. We got through it, but it was definitely a lesson for me of people who are biracial, who maybe this skin color is black, but they are biracial, or they're biracial, or they have lighter skin and people think that they're white, but they're really biracial. You know, it's those things that that are out there. So I think it's really important to just understand that we all come from different backgrounds, and what you see in front of you is not always what is. Like, you might have someone that's white and they look white, but they're biracial. And yes, they might be treated a certain way, but we don't know how they're feeling, and vice versa. So
like Mr. Trinity on Instagram.
That's a
Get
whole
hot
man.
flash shot.
That's a whole ass man.
Daddy black, but he has a white passing.
He cute.
Don't let me find his ass in the street, child.
No, but that's a great conversation, and I mean, there's so many layers, and that's not even just about allyship. That's also about the colorism within the own community. So to the question, that goes more beyond just being an ally, you know. But just the key takeaway to that, though, as an ally, just understand that Black people are not a monolith. You know, like there are levels to being Black. But one other thing I would just like to wrap up, because we've been beating this thing into the ground. This isn't just relationships. You don't have to be dating a Black person to do all these things that we're talking about too. Just if you are considering yourself an ally, these are practices that you should be entering into your everyday. If you consider yourself, I got friends that are Black, then these are things that you need to be doing to show that you are actually a friend to those said Black individuals. Okay, so it's not these aren't things you just do for romantic people. These are things that you do for Black people as in
every
general.
day.
Okay, so just know this isn't just for if you're dating a Black person. If you're dating a Black person, dope, good for you, boo. Because I know it's good. All right, but even if you are friends with a Black person, you should be doing this as well too.
That's a word. That's a word. And if your neighbor Black, if your coworker Black, this is just like a day. This is just life in general.
In general,
you know. So that's a great question though. To kick off this Black History Month, and then just like obviously last week's episode as well. And if you didn't catch last week's episode was a good one. We got a lot of commentary just like on the social media posts that we did. But continue to send your Ask Your Aunties questions to aya@minorityareport.com or DM us. Before we get out of here, our condolences to the Asian American communities and just the communities at large, like gun violence again. And we've talked about this so many times on this podcast. I don't even know what to do, but it just breaks my heart every single time because there's just people really traumatized by this and hurting from this and fucking up families from this and communities from this. Like, I don't know what else we could say. I don't know what we could do, except we need to continue to vote people in that are actually going to do some shit about this.
And that care
about this. Because, like, there's no more thoughts and prayers that we could give. I mean, yes, still stay prayed up, but we got to put action to our words. And right now, every time this shit is happening, there is no action to the words we do every single time.
Yeah. 100%. It was just so sad to hear. And to also just like even just what happened in Monterey and the shooter being also an Asian American man too. Like, you know, like Black on Black crime is real, Asian on Asian crime, like it is like it's real. It's real. But the common denominator are these damn guns at the end of the day. They should not be as accessible as they are.
Nope.
They should not, you know. Nope. And you know, it's sad, you know, like that so many people started their Lunar New Year off, you know, that's how they started their Lunar Year off, you know. And it was funny because one of my coworkers, she was like, oh, congratulations. She was like, happy Lunar New Year. Don't forget to eat chicken. I said, now, sis. Now, you know, you don't got to remind me to eat no chicken
that part.
to kick off my Lunar New Year. But I was like, but you know what? Right. I'm going to have me a couple extra pieces just to make sure that I'm celebrating too. You know, I'm going to look.
Extra spicy, honey.
Honey, I know that's right.
Okay. Yeah. And so guess what? She came back and she had a spicy chicken sandwich for me. She's like, I got you some chicken, boo. And I was like, come on now, let's go ahead and celebrate this, you know.
I know that's right. So happy Lunar New Year. Sorry that it's starting off this way, But hang in there, support each other. Therapy.
We see you.
We talked about therapy at the beginning. Therapy might be a way to help you kind of process some of this craziness, because I don't know any other way, honestly, at this point, because this is wild. So,
and it's the year of the rabbit. So if you're born the year of the rabbit, kudos to y'all. I mean, I'm 88, so next year, my year. That's why I say I'm ready to say Happy New Year. Next year, my year for the Lunar New Year. I am ready. But
we'll end this episode on a great ass note.
Okay, go ahead. Let's go.
She came up that water.
Girl,
I was like, Beyonce, like I was starting that day mad because that shit, she tried to shut that shit down. She's like, no videography, no photography.
They were on it.
Your phones in these bags.
Coming in live, bitch. The videos were on Instagram coming in quick. I said, fuck this.
It's like, it's Beyonce. Beyonce, sorry, boo, but we got to put this out there. Even Lizzo was up in there.
It's going to get out there. It's going to get out there.
And I'm glad it did, because she sounded great.
Yes.
She looked great. She did Beautiful Liar again with some new choreographer, Fatima, like the Fatima, by the way.
Yeah.
The one and only Fatima. And if y'all don't know who Fatima is, get your life, because she's the one that Kate got famous from the Remember the Time video. She did all Aaliyah stuff. She be doing the Oscars all year, every year. She did the Super Bowl last year. Fatima, the Fatima. Put some respect on her name. Thank you. But and then Beyonce said, you know what? I'm not going to get these heifers this new shit, though.
She sure didn't. That set list came out. There was nothing from Summer Renaissance on there, bitch.
No, you ain't getting this new shit.
She said that wasn't part of the party package, okay?
That part. She said 1 hour. She said 1 hour, old shit, 24 mil. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah.
Sign on the dotted line.
Oh, she said, oh, you get the stuff I know. Oh, how much time I got? Oh, okay. You get all the stuff I know how to do already. I've done this already. We going all right. Instead of standing over there, I'm gonna stand over here. Girl,
she said, that's an easy 24 mil. I could do that in my sleep.
Bitch rolled out of bed and said, okay.
Looking.
She said, I can still bitch.
And thing is, she didn't, for the look of it, she didn't even really have to do that many 8 counts.
She sure didn't.
She said, I don't gotta do that many 8 counts. I'll leave that for y'all.
I'm just sitting here saying.
Honey, singing she did.
Yeah.
She said, I'm gonna end on this little drunken love remix for y'all right quick. And on this pedestal in the middle of this water and these fireworks. Then I'm gonna take my black ass home.
Home.
I said, only that bitch would just elevate up into the air. Okay. Boom. It was everything.
And singing.
Yeah. I said, bitch, I'm ready. I am ready. Actually, no, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm lying. I'm not ready.
I'm not ready.
I ran that back real quick. There is just the fact being that I barely can keep my life together off of some 30-second videos on Instagram. Imagine a whole ass concert.
Honey. It's like I can't. I be stuttering it. Like, it's like, why did I spend my Saturday watching a bootleg version of Beyonce? Like, it was like an old school bootleg.
I was going on multiple accounts. I was like, oh, this different angle. Like, I ain't never seen it before. I'm watching it come up from the back. like
the amount of times I saw her come up singing the At Last, the little 5-second clip.
Look,
I was like, how many times you gonna watch the same clip for? Like, come on now. Like, just waiting for new shit to pop in. I was on Twitter just refreshing, and it kept being the At Last. I'm like, okay, some new shit gonna pop in. And it sure did. Blue Ivy was there looking amazing.
Look, sang with her on Brown Skin Girl.
It had the little
look, okay.
McKelly rolling. I was like, go ahead, Blue.
That Rue Beyonce account was coming through on Instagram. It was coming through. It was coming through, honey. It was coming through. It was fantastic.
In the back, you could tell though they were in Dubai because the background dancers were covered up. Beyonce was covered up. She said, "Okay, I can't show all the skin. I'm gonna show a little hint of skin, but I can't show."
It was so funny because I also thought of. I don't know if we're gonna talk about the Oscars this week or next week.
We can.
Okay, good. Because I saw the fingers of the purple gloves, and it reminded me of Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
See, I have yet to see that movie.
Bitch, you have
Everyone
yet
keeps talking about that Spire movie. I need to watch
literally,
it.
I just watched it again this past Saturday with
Wait,
Fizz.
what's it called?
It's called Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. And
It's with Michelle.
so
What's her name?
good. Michelle Yeoh.
Yes!
Yeah.
That's my girl!
And if you have not seen that movie, I kid you not, you are missing out. I
need to watch that. I'm gonna watch
it.
It
was the best movie of 2022.
Okay.
It was the best movie of 2022. And it edged out I love Black Panther as well, too. And it edged out Black Panther for me. It is the movie of the year. You're going to have to watch it twice. I'm going to let you know that now.
Okay.
You're going to have to watch it twice because there's a lot going. And I'm going to let you know right off the bat, the first 35 minutes of the movie, you're going to be like, what the fuck is going on?
Okay.
Stick with it because I kid you not, halfway through it all, everything makes sense. Let them explain it. They do a good job at building into the actual story.
Okay.
Where you don't see the first 15 minutes and you're like, I know exactly how this is going to go. It does not do that. I want that I want that movie to win every award with the exception of Best Supporting Actress because I want that to go to
Miss Angela B. Bassett.
But when I tell you, Miss Stephanie Hsu,
yeah, she ate
that fucking role up. She ate that role up. And also, Jamie Lee Curtis did a good job in that role too.
You were saying that a couple weeks ago. Okay.
She did.
How can you not love her though?
What's the man from Indiana Jones? I forget his name.
I forget his name too. But from Indiana Jones, and he was from the Goonies too. He was fantastic. I want them to win Best Wardrobe. I want them to win Best Film Editing. I wanted to win Best Motion Picture.
Okay.
I wanted to win, and I don't want to win Best Song because I think Lift Me Up is going to win. I think it's between that or Hold My Hand. It's between that or Hold My Hand. But
I just can't wait to see Rihanna on the Oscar copper now. Think about it. Shit.
Honestly,
you're gonna have the Super Bowl, then the Oscars right after. She better drop some music.
Girl, let me tell you. Go to a red box and rent the movie. Right now, everything, all the streaming platforms are being like $15 to rent the movie. Just find a red box and rent it for $2. That's
literally what we did. Find a red box and then a DVD player.
You don't got like a PlayStation?
No, I got my PlayStation.
That's what I use too. Yeah, because that's what I use. I got a PlayStation.
I gotta find a red. Where's the red box at anymore?
Girl.
Walmart.
Our grocery stores have them here, like the one right below us. So it's just easy to get one.
Not here in Westchester County with these bougie ass folks. No, they don't know.
All I know is everyone has to see that fucking movie. Everyone has to see it.
I'm gonna watch that movie.
It is the best one. I just cannot say enough good things about it. But as far as the Oscar nominations as a whole, though, I was just like, sounds about right. Like,
but I think Angela might win. I think Angela. I don't want to jinx the Lord, please. Well, I think it might be her year. I think they're probably gonna be like, okay, Angela. If not, I'm gonna be so highly.
I want Angela. I'm saying it right now. I want Angela to win. But if Stephanie or Jamie Lee Curtis wins, I will understand.
Got it.
Because they did a great fucking job. I will understand if it's given to them. I really do see that movie sweeping every night, like sweeping.
Right. Okay.
Girl,
because everybody's been talking about it.
It is good, bitch. And you sit there and you're like, how did your mind even get there? But all the other movies, I was like, I don't want to see anything. Whale. I was like, oh, you talking about homie from The Mummy still making movies? Like,
right? It's like, where you been at? Tarzan?
I literally in my mind, I was like, oh, so what you're telling me is
George of the Jungle,
my 300-pound life got a movie. Okay.
Oh, damn. You're right, though. You're right, though. So, yeah. So, we'll see. That's in March. Yeah. But yeah, no.
The day before,
it's been all Beyonce. It's just been all Beyonce for me this week. Sorry.
Yeah. I mean, I've been definitely writing. I've been writing hard for that movie. I love it. I want everyone to get all their flowers for that movie. It is just the representation, just seeing so many, amazing, Asian American or just people from the Asian community.
Yeah.
Put something together that's so beautiful that shows part of their history, or not their history, but their culture, but also just and their creativity. And then like there's like the fighting that just it was just girl, I just can't. I just can't.
It's on my list. I need to get to it. So
I don't buy many movies on DVD. I'm gonna buy that movie on DVD.
Oh, word.
I'm
like,
DVD
or Blu-ray?
I'm gonna buy it on Blu-ray. I'm going to physically buy that movie to also just show support.
Yeah,
it is just fantastic.
Okay,
okay.
Check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, better than Matrix. Ooh, damn, stop! Don't do that. Dewan ain't here to defend us either.
It's better than the Matrix.
Yeah. Oh well. I have one question that I'm gonna save for Landon for the next time, actually, because we're at the end here.
Oh, come on!
I'll tease it. Literally, we could probably end up. The question is gonna end up taking a minute to just talk about. So
it's just her. She'll be the only
20.
one.
We're at an hour 20, so we'll just make sure you're back on soon. That's it. But save whatever commentary that you was thinking for said commentary.
You know what? I was so busy living in the Stone Age here with the electrical outages. I totally forgot about that.
It is what it is. It's just a crunchy episode, community.
I don't
technology.
They just sent out an email about it, and I'm just like, I don't fucking care. At this point, I pay all this rent to be living like the Flintstones. I don't think so. So I'm over it.
I hear you, boo. But thank you for helping us out, boo, and being.
Thank you for having me
this weekend.
No, I hope they enjoyed his dick this weekend. Those 3 people enjoyed his dick this weekend.
That's right. You get a dick. You get a dick. You get a dick.
Your turn.
I know that's right. I know man has been fulfilling his top life lately. That top fantasy. She's
Come
like
on, that top era. Okay, now.
She's like down top in 2023.
Oh yeah, slap him around a little bit. Yeah.
He said, I used to like to get choked. Now I'm doing the choking. Bitch.
Yeah. And don't try to choke me back, because then I'm gonna choke you even harder.
Damn. Okay, that sounds like violence. But
on that note,
no. Wash your hands, wash your legs, wash your ass. Get your ass prepared for landing, and see you next week. Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye. That shit is so funny. Oh my god. That is fucking hilarious. Get your ass ready for later.
You get a dick.